Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 288.
288.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. We will be talking about Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort this week, which I'm really looking forward to talking about, as well as other topics. And MEI Travel can help you, especially with the new resorts coming and the new ticket options. It really is important to get help, I think, for really, like, we just have an annual pass and we can go to the parks. But if you're doing a vacation, that's very different.
I would not know what to do.
They have almost 100 agents and 20 years in business now. So check them out.
Well, speaking of checking things out, this week we're going to start off at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
We haven't been to the parks too much recently since we got back from Paris, but we will be going quite a bit more.
Very much more.
But we were here to see Vampirina, although I also wanted to see the little bit of Christmas decorations that were up.
Well, it is never too early for Christmas. You can see the stars here and on display.
I know, it's going to be about a week probably until we see full Christmas at Disney's Hollywood Studios. I believe it happened on Halloween last year, and today we're recording on the 23rd or 24th?
23rd.
So about a week, I think we'll be seeing it, and then Magic Kingdom pretty soon as well.
So here we are at Echo Lake, and you can see Dinosaur Gertie cannot wait to get her Santa Claus hat on for the holidays.
And there'll be more decorations in here than last year. Last year was the first year that they had the Christmas tree and then the ornaments in the water, and it's going to be even more than last year. So I can't wait to see it. It was a real surprise for me last year when they had such a really nice little Christmas area over here.
Have they announced all that? There's going to be even more?
There is. Yes, I did that media event earlier this year, and that's what they said.
Very exciting. Look at that. You could just see the Santa Claus hat and the ornament that she will be holding, too.
And soon, well, here we are at Vampirina. You can see the times. I don't know that that's a daily time. So definitely check the schedule if you want to meet her. There is Doc McStuffins. Here comes Vampirina.
And this was the very first day, the very first arrival of Vampirina on a regular meet and greet at Disney's Hollywood Studios. And
she replaced Jake. So every time you get a new character, you end up replacing one. And here you have also Pluto is in the area and Sophia the First. So you have 4 different characters.
Well, the big line, though, the big draw right now is for Vampirina. It would have been a great time to see those other characters, especially Pluto, because Pluto had very little weight. Oops, it's so early in her run, she went to the wrong place.
And this isn't the first time that Vampirina has been out. She was here. She came here about a month ago to 5 weeks ago. She's at Mickey's Not So Scary at the Disney Junior Jam, and here we are meeting her. She's also at the Disney Junior Play and Dine.
Oh yeah. That's at the what is it, Hollywood and Vine restaurant?
Yes, and so she's everywhere now. Like, she went from nowhere to everywhere, and she's also at Disneyland.
So look at this. She has a great little area there with all sorts of props and things, and she was happy to show off her bookcase before.
And I ended up just asking her if she could sign an autograph just so, just to have a few extra seconds, because it's not like we usually ask
Well, not
for
only
autographs.
that, it's very interesting to see how they do the autographs, depending on what character it is. The autograph is themed to them. So that is a very nice, see how she has the bat wings over the name and everything? So I always like to see that.
Yeah, I mean, we just never really do it that often, and we probably should. Just, again,
when you're first meeting them, I think.
Yeah, I mean, especially the first day, because you don't know what their signature is going to look like. But anyway, there is Vampirina, and she was a fun little meet and greet.
So I would recommend, let's get into recommendations now. Obviously, she was very popular. It's a new character. I would get there early. We were there for rope drop, and I personally, as soon as I walked in, I went straight to the Vampirina line, and there was already maybe a 15-minute wait, quite the line. So I don't know if that was because it was the first day or just because she's very popular, but early is usually better for meeting these characters.
I think a lot of it was the first day. The Disney Junior area here is popular, but it isn't usually too crazy, I think, as far as meet and greet. So hopefully, it won't be too bad if you're looking. And there's a Spookalele.
I am so impressed. Yes. I didn't even know what that was called.
That's what it's called, a Spookalele. I think it's a spooktacular Spookalele.
Oh, that is wonderful.
But
so many nice props. I really like this area. Is great.
I think it's supposed to be her room. We've only seen a little bit of the Vampirina.
Yes, we actually did show preparation. We watched an episode, the Halloween episode of Vampirina.
So that was really fun. And I just want to mention also, there's a Disney Junior dance party coming on December 22nd. It's taking the place of the already closed Disney Junior Live on Stage, and Vampirina, Doc McStuffins, Timon, and Mickey. I don't know if they'll be the only characters, but I think those are the general ones.
And that's going to be in that somewhat new theater down by Rock and Roller Coaster.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I believe that's where it is.
Okay, well, that's probably where it is then.
And now this is the best part of the whole Vampirina experience. There she goes. She's leaving. She's exiting. And what do you know? Here comes some stormtroopers. What a mix. What an interesting mix.
It'll be interesting to see once the Star Wars Galaxy's Edge opens, are they going to keep Launch Bay? Are you going to keep this into more of a Disney Junior area? Or is it going to be just a whole new area?
Well, it will definitely be interesting. And here we are at the Caribbean Beach Resort. And this is a all-new Old Port Royale.
And I call it New Port Royale.
Mm-hmm.
But Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort, it's 30 years old now. And they just reimagined Old Port Royale. I actually was there during the first year. I don't know if you did.
Indeed I was. I stayed there.
I did too, for a night or two, just to kind of get an idea of the resort, especially since it was the first moderate resort to open. They had only had deluxe resorts up until that time. And this area is very familiar for about 2 steps, and then all of a sudden it's completely different.
Well, when you take your left right here, this used to be a very large gift shop, and now it's the main check-in. You used to have to go to a separate building to check in called the Custom House, and that was always kind of a pain because it was completely separate from the resort. So if you had to go to the front desk, it was way out of the way. Here, it's all right here, centrally located in Old Port Royale.
Well, I mean, it was separate from the main area. So it's like if you checked in, it's not like you could just eat.
Separate from every area.
Right. So, it's nice to have all of this. You can check in. If you're waiting for your room, you can hang out here. We're going to see they have like USB ports in the tables and in the couches. You can go get something to eat, except for the one area, the food court is closed for lunch for some reason, but you can still get some grab and go, or you can go over to Sebastian's, which we'll show.
So now we're going to look in the new gift shop here, which is a quite large gift shop, well stocked. You can see there's a nice bunch of booze there. I see the goose. The Calypso Trading Post does not hold back. And there's all sorts of beverages and snacks.
Yes, you can get your sodas. There's like a kiosk. I don't want to say a kiosk, but like right here, what are those called? Like a shelves of wine,
It's a liquor cabinet.
No, I'm talking about the shelf of wine that's like totally dead center in the center of the trading post. But yes, that is a liquor.
I wish the viewers could see Denise's hands going crazy trying to
I wasn't expecting you to say it like
this.
that. But this is a Centertown Market, and for some reason they were closed for lunch. I guess they're closed for lunch daily, but
for some reason, I like that.
I think that a food court should be open for lunch. It would be like closing the any of the other food courts for lunch.
It was smart because it made us go to Sebastian, so we spent much more money than we would have if we had gone to the food court, which was the original plan.
That's actually very true. We were going to do the food court and it was closed. So, but Sebastian's was pretty nice actually. They do have a grab and go. You can get sandwiches.
We are going to fully see inside the grab and go because it was the only food thing that was open at the time in the middle of the day here.
I do think they should open the market, the food court. Even 1 or 2 of the kiosks I think should be open, like for burgers or something.
Well, I mean,
they
if you want a quick snack, they do have the Banana Cabana, and they have that other new dining place. What was it called?
That's a Spyglass Grill. That's about a 10-minute walk from here, and also I think there's an internal bus as well. But I mean, it's a little bit more out of the way.
Well, this is quick and convenient, and there are the prices. So they have all sorts of sandwiches, and there's a variety of pizzas. I think they're already prepared pizzas in boxes, so you just grab it and truly grab and go.
And so we're also looking, they have ice cream, and then there's options for, you have muffins, you have brownies, so kind of a breakfast or snack case here.
Yeah, it's truly a little something for everybody, and you'll see in just a second, there's quite the drink selection coming up too, all sorts of different items.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you have your beers and just like, any of the other resorts, so you have plenty to choose from here.
Plus, it is a Joffrey's, so you can get your custom-made Joffrey's coffees, various coffees and things.
And you saw the refillable mugs, so that's where you can get refillable mugs, and also out by Banana Cabana you can refill them as well.
Not to mention wines.
Yeah. There's plenty of alcohol options here at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort.
So here is the seating area, a very quiet looking seating area during the day. Nobody in there. Reminds me of being on a cruise ship when everybody is off on port.
Actually, I said because of the type of music and the way it looks, it reminds me of the Carnival Cruise Line when you go to their food area, the food court area.
Yeah, I mean, look at this. Very Caribbean. I mean, it is very nice. It's a very relaxing atmosphere. And we mentioned earlier about the check-in area and how you had USB and various chargers and everything. This is built right into the chair, the couch here. I think it's very good.
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that and I'm like, well, that's nice. I mean, you can charge your computer, you can charge your phone, you can...
Both at the same time if you want.
I've never, I guess maybe I've never seen that necessarily in a, like that before in a couch.
Yeah,
So,
hotel rooms seem to have a lot of that, but just in the lobby, that'll be a very handy place to go.
well, especially, I mean, if you check in at 9 and your room's not ready and you don't want to head to the park, you've got your laptop and you can just kind of sit there and go and get some Joffrey's coffee and hang out on your computer for a little while.
And we've been known to do such things when rooms aren't ready. We're going to take a walk outside. Now, it used to be this view looking straight out. You would look out and see the water. You'd see the lagoon. Not the case anymore. You have this building here, which contains 2 different places. It has Sebastian's in it and a brand new updated banana cabana.
And I miss the view walking out, but at the same time, if you go to Sebastian's, then you get the view there. So we've got the pool area. It's the same as before. The pool area was built almost 10 years ago. I remember taking pictures of it as it was being built for the site. Just so that, I would go there.
The upgrade.
Right.
Because there was an original pool area, and then they upgraded it to
the
this
pirate.
about 10 years ago. But I remember, I'm sure you remember, the original, much smaller pool area that the park, or at the resort opened with.
I don't really remember it anymore because when things are kind of built, especially since it's been about 10 years, I just don't remember it as much anymore. This is what I'm used to at this point.
I will show you pictures later.
Okay, I may even have pictures, but I don't remember.
And here it is. It's the much bigger banana cabana.
And that is really a nice bar area with good views. And we didn't go there to drink anything, but
I would definitely check it out. I would make an order and try whatever food options and a few drinks.
And you can see here the Disney Skyliner, the towers. They're kind of all over now.
They truly
you'll see
are
them everywhere.
all over, especially in this area.
And then you can see the other resort going up there, the Disney Riviera Resort. And then we were not planning to go to Sebastian's Bistro. In fact, Jeff said, we are not going to be eating there.
That was before we got there, and there was no other options, and we looked at the menu, and it actually looked pretty good. We'll talk about that in just a minute. We're going to take one more closer look at the Skyliner and the Skyliner station that is really coming along.
And there's 2 stations. There's one here, because this is close to the Riviera Resort, and then there's one at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. In Disney Riviera Resort, I do get asked, they are not the same resort. I mean, Disney Riviera Resort is being built where some of the buildings for Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort was.
But it's not part of the Caribbean Beach whatsoever, right? They have their own check-in. Is it fully DVC?
That is a DVC. I believe there's going to be like 300 units, and on top is supposed to be like a rooftop grill. But that is a separate resort. It's their 15th DVC resort. And then Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort is not a DVC resort. So
Yet.
Maybe in a few years we'll see some units over here. But anyway, here is Sebastian's Bistro. Again, we were just going to go to Disney Springs or something to eat, maybe Blaze Pizza. And then it's like, well...
See, that's how they get you. I think that's the whole reason for having the food court closed.
So this is a new location. Shutters used to be at Old Port Royale. I thought they were open just for dinner, but you're looking at Sebastian's, which is open for lunch and dinner.
I don't think they do breakfast. I'm not quite sure. But I know for sure they do lunch and dinner.
Well, it just says lunch and dinner. So we were here. We had lunch. and you can see it wasn't too busy, although Amanda
yes, our
ended up
friends,
there.
we were spotted as we were leaving, but it did get a little bit busier as we were there. Not very busy, but it's very nice inside, as you can see, very relaxed. It looks very new, and you could see homages to Mr. Crab, Mr. Sebastian the Crab. I see him back there, and some of the artwork. And
it reminds me so much of Vero Beach for some reason. And we
yeah,
haven't been
much.
To Vero Beach in a number of years, but that's, you know, when you walk in, it's like, oh, that was the feeling for me. And it is very, to me, it's very lightly themed. It's not, you know, like big Little Mermaid type, you know, decorations or anything.
And speaking of that, there he is. There is Sebastian. That is the biggest reference you'll see aside from the sign outside.
Right. So I thought it was very nicely done. And this is the menu. And the way they do the menu is a little unusual. So I don't know if that's going to continue or not. And it will be interesting to see.
And here we had a great view. We actually had a view looking out over the lagoon. The first item we had was the bread.
Right. This is called the Caribbean pull-apart rolls. And everybody like online that I saw was saying how good they were. These are $12. And when you add tax and tip, it's like $15. So, you know, because I'm so used to Paris where everything's already included.
Yeah, each one of those, $3.
Right, plus tax and tip. I don't
Very
think...
expensive bread.
To me, it wasn't worth it. And I thought, you know, they were nice. But it's the type of thing that in other restaurants you might get for free or for less money. So it's not something I personally recommend, but a lot of people like it. It includes guava butter, mango chutney, and a Jamaican jerk oil. I thought the guava butter was a little bland. It was nice. But
it was just okay for me, but luckily everything else was really much better than expected. Here is my item. This is a burger, and it has a Maryland crab cake on top of that.
And that was $20.
$20 is not cheap, but it was a fantastic, very perfectly cooked burger, and the crab cake was fresh and great, and the sweet potato fries went along perfectly with that. It was a very good, it was better than expected, my dish.
Well, after the bread, I'm just like, well, I mean, if that's supposed to be the best thing.
Yeah, I was having low expectations at that
point.
But
I had the grilled skirt steak chimichurri, and that was very good. It was $28. It was very tender, and the yuca fries were excellent also. So the whole dish to me was, it's a lot of money, but at least it was really good.
And I tried it as well, and I agree with you. It was excellent. It was great that both of our entrees were top of the line for us.
Right. And I mean, after the bread, I was like, you know, but at least we kept going.
And they do take a discount for annual pass holders.
Yes, 10%.
And all this. Now, our friends who happen to be vegan ordered these items, and I think this is something like a not egg sandwich or something like that.
Well, I wrote down the names
for
them.
Ahead. Please do.
Amanda and Carice were there, and Island Curry Eggless Salad Sandwich for $14, and the plant-based banh mi sandwich for $16. And they seemed to like them enough.
And that's sort of like an Impossible Burger, she said. They both really liked their meals, and you know, we didn't try them, of course, but you know, our friends, I usually count on their opinions very highly. So.
Well, to me, it was nice that they had a couple of different options, at least for vegans. And then also they had this. This is a warm chocolate pudding. It was $10. Again, not worth the 10. It was just okay.
A cup of pudding for $10 is a little high, if you ask me. It was good. It was very good, but not really a huge amount.
Yeah, there. I don't really recommend this. So I do recommend our entrees a lot, and I know Amanda and Carice said their entrees were very good. So I would mostly stick with the entrees here. I might try another dessert or something if we went back. But,
yeah, there's other items that we can certainly try. I've heard people really like the jerk chicken there. Apparently that's very good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the restaurant's only been open for about a week. At least at the point that
for something open that little, the service, everything else was great. So I mean, a lot of times when a restaurant first opens, there are hiccups, and we didn't see any of those.
Right, and my skirt steak was very tender. Like, it was really tender, and skirt steak is not always tender. So I was very, very happy with that. So now we are outside and just kind of walking around. I need to do another photo walk because now is a good time to be doing that.
Oh yeah, everything has changed completely since your last one.
And you can see, I mean, you still have the Caribbean beach feel to it.
Very old school. It looks like it could have been 20 years ago when it first opened.
And then, but then you have the towers and everything. So now we're back in Paris. I didn't realize we're going to be in Paris so quickly.
We are back in Paris, and this was a special event at the Walt Disney Studios Paris theme park, and this was Disney Loves Jazz. And here is a character I never, ever would have expected to see, let alone meet in person. It's Edgar from the Aristocats, who is a very much a villain.
So the Disney Loves Jazz event was really fun. We saw almost no jazz because it was...
No jazz.
It was like... Well, no, there was jazz, but we didn't see hardly any jazz because it was in like the 40s out by this time, and all their jazz was like outside, and I didn't want to sit around in outdoor 40 some odd degree temperature looking at jazz.
Actually that cold.
Oh yes, it got down into the 30s on this
Edgar
night.
doesn't seem very cold.
Well, he's got like 3 layers
That's
on.
True. That is true. That is true. He was, by the way, he was fantastic. If you're not familiar, just check out the Aristocats. He's sort of like the Aristocats version of Cruella de Vil, and there are his nemesises, the cats. Not a fan of the cats.
I had never met the Aristocats, all 3 of them before. I've met Marie, but I've not met the rest. So I was very happy, and I waited twice to see them, which I'm not really as big a character fan as Jeff. I like the characters. Like I would meet Gelatoni. I like cats. And then, so they were really fun.
And there is Edgar following them in the darkness. And there is our friends meeting all the cats. And of course, we got to meet them too. And it was, that was worth it. Just for that, it was worth it to meet all 3 of them.
Yes. Kelly and June were there. But by near the end, I'm just like, I just want to go meet the cats again. And I want to go by myself. I don't want there to be video. I just want to go, get a photo with them. And so I waited in line one more time.
And there you are. There's your no video version of meeting the kittens.
When I went to meet them, I was like, I'm going to meet them. You go do whatever you're doing. And then he shows up at the last minute.
I knew you would love it. You need a record of meeting it.
I just wanted a photo. That's it.
So anyway, now we're over here and we're seeing the Shadow Man. I also see Tiana and Naveen. And we're waiting for one more important character. And here he is. It's Louis.
So yeah, the Princess Tiana and Prince Naveen, they would meet, and then Louis and Dr. Facilier would come.
Right. So if you're lining up, you don't know who you're going to get. So people would try to let others go by. That's the one thing that sometimes can be dicey. They've gotten a lot better about that, and other meet and greets you didn't have this problem, but it was still the case with these guys.
But the nice thing was, like, there was all 4 of them for a moment here. So it's always fun when they kind of all show up.
Oh, they were great too. I mean, especially Dr. Facilier, the Shadow Man, was perfect. And there goes Tiana, and I think Naveen is on her way out. But they were so much fun. I mean, they were just having a great time.
So I just really enjoyed the thing with Disney Loves Jazz is it was almost like a mini fan days with a whole bunch of different characters, and then they had jazz in the cold, in the really cold. It's funny how just while we're watching them, just the weather changed so much. From the time we arrived to the time we left.
Absolutely. A few days after this, I was in full shorts and t-shirt, but we were really bundled up this night. So I guess that'll get us ready for December for the Frozen Fountain.
No, not in November. We're going to be there next month. And here is Oswald and Ortensia. And they were the other characters I really wanted to meet because they've become... They started with fan days, but it wasn't a meet and greet. It was just like
a performance.
It was her debut. Mm-hmm. And so they've been kind of at Disneyland Paris a lot lately. And so it was really fun to get to meet her.
Now, I have a friend, obviously, Curious Axel, who's met them every time. And he said this was much easier, the very easiest. I think we only waited about 5, maybe 10 minutes to meet them because there was a change. They had to take a little break.
Well, on PhotoPass Day, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours or more, and they were really only out a very limited amount of time. So this was a very easy meet and greet.
Right. This whole event really was great. I think it was my favorite event of all these special events. Even meeting Roger Rabbit and Eddie Valiant here, probably about a 20-minute wait. Not at all bad. And,
we saw them at Fan Days also. Right. They had a very long line. Oh,
well,
no,
line.
not
it was
line.
Just a mob.
Okay, it was a mob.
Right.
So, yes, it was hard to get a photo with them during Fan Days.
Much more civilized here.
It was much easier. And so this was fun too. I forgot we had met them as well. I think we met pretty much everybody we wanted to meet on this day. Mickey and Minnie were the...
Look at there you are.
I am. And I have my Sainsbury's bag. I don't even remember why I'm carrying it around. So that was really fun.
That was fun. And now we have some other characters here. We just happened to be going over to the Toon area, and there is Frozone coming out from The Incredibles.
Right. This is a Toon studio. They also had Mickey and Minnie, who I think had the longest line.
They did. They had the
of
longest
everybody,
line.
which is surprising to me.
Yeah, you should never underestimate the popularness of the big cheese. And I saw Elastigirl and Mr. Incredible, and I think you're about to see Mickey and Minnie. Look at how nice they look.
And I did not go to meet any of these characters. We had Kelly and June went to go meet Mickey and Minnie. They had really wanted to see them, but it was nice to see them in different outfits.
Well, I did get to meet them because one of my good friends was in line and invited me in. So I got to see Mickey and Minnie. You know, they're both turning 90 in just a few months. They look great.
Well, Mickey, for some reason, it's all about Mickey's 90.
Not me. I never forget about Minnie.
Where Minnie is the same age.
Of course. Oh, yes.
She needs a little love, too. But anyway, they had really, really fun costumes. Were Chip and Dale over here, or was that just Fan Days?
That I never did see them, so I don't think they were out this night.
So I get confused with Fan Days because in some ways it was so similar to it.
So anyway, it was totally worth it. I had a great time. It was a little chilly, and you didn't even see this because you were bundled up inside.
I know.
The soundstage at the time.
I was so cold. I was so cold at this point, and I did not realize.
There's a little jazz right there.
Had I known about that, I would have probably headed over.
So now we're going to switch over to Walt Disney World again and talk about the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, my absolute favorite food event of the year.
I love this event, and it is from October 26th through 27th for the 2 nights on the Causeway. They also have a Sunday Bubbles brunch, and that would be on the 28th, and at Il Molino. This is just a fantastic event. I believe it's in its 9th year. We've done, 8 years of it or so?
We've done almost every one.
And it really is a really nice event. If you like something like the food and wine events over at Epcot, this is similar, but I actually enjoy it a lot more. So we're going just to listen a little bit about the event.
Without further ado, I'm going to introduce our Assistant Director of Food and Beverage, Luciano Sperduto, also the wine blending instructor for the Food and Wine Classic.
Hey, welcome. Nice to see everyone. I know some familiar faces. So, so we are kicking off our 9th annual Food and Wine Classic on October 26th and 27th. It's from 5:30 to 9 p.m. So we're going to feature over 26 food booths and over 62 beverage booths. So beverage ranges everywhere from spirits, wine, champagne, and beer and sake. So it's a great selection of beverage and food. Our plan the whole time when the inception of this event was really for it to be a big party for adults to come enjoy the property, savor our culinary team selections out on the Causeway, and then be able to pair with some great beverage as well. So some of the fun stuff that we have going on this year is there's 5 themed areas that we have out on the Causeway. Some of the staples and favorites of our guests are Carnival Corner, which was featured behind me. There's carnival games. All the proceeds for those games go to the Children's Miracle Network this year. And then we also have some traditional carnival food, and what we featured today is Funfetti's fried Oreos, which I think everyone's going to really enjoy. And then one of our other areas is Bubble Lounge, and the Bubble Lounge is fairly new. It's a couple years old, and what we do there is champagne, sparklings from around the world, again paired with some really good culinary creations there. And then you have to find it, so we've created this speakeasy type feel where your entry is going to be this piece of bubble gum that you get, and when you come in, and then you have to go and find it on the Causeway. So sort of fun. And then we've also, where you are right now is our beer garden. So beer garden is come on in, separate entryway, and then we have local and seasonal beers. And then some traditional beer garden fare, so that includes some Jaeger Schnitzel, Berliner kebabs, some fun stuff. And then one of our new areas this year that is out on the resort's private beach is called the Pig and the Poke, which is also featured out here as well. And that is going to have a earth-baked Kahlua pork and some tuna poke as well. So 3 out of the 5 themed areas have live entertainment this year too, and that is new to the event as well. So where you are right now in the beer garden, we're going to have individual strumming guitarists coming out, just playing like songs walking the area. Out at the Pig and the Poke, We have a traditional Polynesian band. So there's a 3-piece band out on the beach, which is going to be pretty cool. And then in the Bubble Lounge, we have what is called Vintage Vibes is the group, and they play songs you know, and they throw a little bit of like a old school flapper speakeasy kind of feel to it to go with the Bubble Lounge. So some of the other stuff that we have featured out here is going to be our seminars, which is unique to us as well. So our seminars are all put on by our food and beverage professionals here, part of our food and beverage team. So they get a chance to showcase their talent, an item a topic that they're really passionate about. So what we featured here today is wine blending, craft cocktails, and it's better to wine in Italian. But there are 10 total seminars. So there's food pairings and beverage, and they differ from day to day. So a lot of that is just through feedback that we've gotten from our guests that come in year after year. And so they've given us feedback on what they'd like to see. And so you can actually come both nights, do a different seminar to start off each night, and it rolls right into the event because the seminars are just before the event starts. So you get to catch a seminar, and then you can actually hit the causeway at 5:30 when it opens. So we've set it up pretty nicely for you. Other than that, obviously we have Todd English that's going to be here as well, featuring some of his own specific personal items. So we'll have a couple of lobster items that we'll feature there as well. And then we also have on Sunday morning, we follow up the festivities with our Sunday brunch, which is out in Il Molino. And so that is going to be sponsored by J Vineyards. And so that starts at 9:30, ends at 1:30. Your price of admission includes champagne, sparkling wine. Obviously there's going to be J Sparkling as well there. But the way we've set that up is stations around the restaurant, and then you actually have an option to order an entree as well. So you order your a la carte entree, but then you get to hit the stations in the restaurant and enjoy a lot of that food as well. So a lot of fun. The main stage entertainment actually takes place out in the Dolphin fountain out there. So what we do, it's pretty cool. We drain the entire fountain, and then we build a stage in the fountain, and then we have 3 different acts that rotate through. One was called Atlantic City Boys, another group's called Epic, and they do some awesome events. And it's people, I mean, they love it, and it's a real draw to the event.
I am hungry already. I cannot wait to go to this.
Well, I can't wait for the Funfetti Oreo, fried Oreos.
Oh boy.
But always like Shula's is there, and Todd English himself
well, we
is
just
there.
saw Todd English's nice lobster that'll be there. So that'll be very good. I like to have my Todd English lobster given it to me by Todd himself.
And you
always
usually do.
Yes.
So it's really fun, and we really recommend it. So if you're going to be in town during this time period, or you know, they really do announce so far ahead. I mean, they really start working on the next event almost as soon as this event will be over, and then they'll announce the dates really soon, and then the menus not long after that. So it's really something to plan for.
So anyway, that is another show.
That's another show.
We thank our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel.
Definitely check them out. There's so many changes at Walt Disney World. They can kind of help you through all of that when booking your trip. But of course, Disneyland, Disney Cruise Line, Christmas is coming.
Disneyland Paris.
Disneyland Paris for
Asia.
Any of it. So, and really around the world travel. And we have so much coming up. Oh my gosh.
Much coming
It's like
up.
we have stuff almost every day. So I don't even know what we're going to add. But we're going to have the Fort Wilderness Golf Cart Parade coming up.
Halloween, DVC Halloween event.
DVC Halloween, because Axel was able to get us all into that.
The Headless Horseman event at Fort Wilderness.
Yes, we're doing that. And we have Frontera Cocina tonight. Mm-hmm. I was thinking that we would be part of this show, but we haven't even gone yet.
Yeah.
But there's so much coming up. Earl of Sandwich.
Ice. Gaylord Palms Ice.
Gaylord Palms Ice. I mean, I don't even know how we're going to fit everything into one show coming up.
Well, we will. It's always better to have more material than less. We'll find a way. Anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.